What's up? Duncan the Highlander here. It is Sunday, right after UFC Belem, and I'm going to give my rundown of what I remember from the fights and some of my opinions on them. Starting off, I guess we'll start right from the top with Lyoto Machida versus Eric Anders. First off, Eric Anders, I thought it was interesting. I was like, a lot of people didn't know who Eric Anders was, me included, and I think it was pretty obvious once I watched the broadcast why they chose Eric Anders to fight Lyoto Machida, besides the fact that he called them out. Obviously, they were trying to play off the fact that this guy played football right before the Super Bowl, so hoping that maybe that would grab some eyes, make people want to pay attention and watch that as well. So I thought that was interesting that they tried to go that angle with Eric Anders. But he looked like a small light heavyweight. He just made Lyoto Machida look like he was like a welterweight. Lyoto just looked so small compared to Eric Anders. That was one thing I noticed right away. Lyoto was still able to use his footwork to keep himself on the outside, use his range, and he's really good at using that like that blitz off timing where like he pulls you in, and as you pull in, he waits for you to start to step, and then as you're stepping in, that's when he fires back. He kind of changes the rhythm of it. He comes back, and then he jots forward as you start to chase him, as he makes you reach. So he caught him with a couple intercepting knees, a couple intercepting fists, type strikes, counters. But I'm not gonna lie, I have to say that I kind of felt like Eric Anders won that fight. Now, it was pretty close, but I don't know, maybe more of the strikes, maybe more combinations were thrown by Lyoto Machida, or maybe some of the more fancy looking things. But I feel like the more significant strikes were landed by Eric Anders, and the moments of the fight in which one person had the other opponent in more danger were clearly caused by Eric Anders. So that's my opinion on that. I don't know. Obviously, everyone asks, like, what do you think Lyoto Machida's going to do from here? I don't know. I love Lyoto Machida. I think he's awesome. It was a really good fight, but I feel like Eric Anders probably kind of got robbed. But I still took a lot from watching Lyoto Machida, even just watching his footwork. And I guess what's interesting is the time off that he's had, right? Like, when Lyoto Machida first bursted on the scene, I thought he was crazy. But now, it's funny, because now I just see he's a lot of footwork, but he doesn't have any combos, you know what I mean? He's not throwing any combos together, where now you're starting to see more people use that footwork, even at the amateur levels. More people use that range, but then they're also using combinations, throwing stuff, using their kicks at that distance. So, I mean, if I had to say something for Lyoto, I would have liked to see him throw more kicks. It kept looking like he was trying to set up that high kick when he would switch to the right side off the open stance, because Eric Anders would have that hand so tight, but never happened. I think he threw it once in the 5th round, right off the beginning. But then the second fight, now everyone's going to talk about Mario Yamasaki. Dana White's going to talk about Mario Yamasaki because he's trying to kind of get the eyes off of the fact that, in my personal opinion, they never should have had Cynthia, or whatever, I don't even know what her name is. They never should have had that lady fight Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko was just worlds ahead. It looked like an amateur fighter fighting a pro, let alone fighting a world champion. Her chin was high, she was solid on the whole time, and I think off the first combo, something happened to her knee. She started saying in between rounds, I speak Portuguese, she started saying in between rounds that she hurt her knee. I'm interested to see what happens when I can go back and listen to the tape. But she started to say that she hurt her knee, and her corner told her to shut up. So I'm interested as to what happened about that. But just not, I don't know, I feel like that's not a very morally acceptable thing to be doing. She was just clearly outclassed. There was just no time at any point. There was no moment at any point in the fight in which you felt like she had a chance of even like winning. She was barely surviving. Some of those elbows that she took were vicious. Definitely Mario Yamasaki could have stopped it sooner, but this was just not the fight for her. They were, we understand in this new, Endeavor, WMIG, whatever era, that they're going to be putting together crazy fights like this, but that's something that you just can't be doing. You're going to get somebody killed doing something like that. So that's my opinion on that. It's just kind of rough that they kind of threw her to the, just kind of threw the lamb to the slaughter like that. Because I mean, I feel like that's the untold story here. Is the fact of the matter is there's some sort in a boxing commission, for example, people were talking about before with Floyd Mayweather fighting Conor McGregor that maybe he wouldn't even be able to get sanctioned because he never had a boxing fight before. Now, obviously, that didn't happen, but you're talking about someone in Valentina Shevchenko who's had 50, 60, 70 fights versus someone who's had 8. It's just not any sort of comparison. When they were on the feet, she was lighting her up with some combos. I honestly think that she took her down because she didn't want to hurt her. She didn't want to kill her. Even though she ended up killing her with some ground and pound, she thought maybe she would quit. I think she took her down because she thought that would have been better than her knocking her out right off the top, right on the feet. But that's my little humble opinion on that. And then the fight after that, we got Desmond Green versus the Tractor, Mora Lapachia. I can't remember what his name is. But I was super interested in this fight because Desmond Green actually comes from New England area. He used to fight in NEF, which is the promotion that I'm going to be fighting in that I'm going to be fighting in next in April. Little plug right there. So I'm excited for that. And it's cool when you see people that come from a local promotion. It's cool when you see people that come from a promotion that you've been in or that you're going to be in make it into the UFC and even have some success or have, be doing good. He was the third fight off from the main event, which was pretty cool. And it was a great fight. You could tell that the guy that he was going against looked like he was almost 2 weight classes completely above him. He missed weight. He was at 160 something. And it was just really interesting seeing them go back and forth. The grappling exchanges, it was nice because actually that day I'd been working on the switch and they did a lot of that where they were hitting the switch off the cage, and it was cool because I got to really see something that I had learned that day. I've been going over a lot of cage work yesterday, so it was cool seeing them work on the switch and stuff like that. What else? After that fight, another cool thing about Desmond Green is that Desmond Green also fought my first coach, Nate Charles. He beat him in the second round. This was an amateur fight, and it was cool because my coach was the first dude to take him out of the first round, which was, nice in his amateur career. And Desmond Green also fought Bruce Boynton, I think twice. Bruce Boynton's a fairly big local fighter, possibly, I guess you could say, is the most famous or most popular local fighter for Maine. So probably the most popular fighter who hasn't made it into the UFC. Because I'd probably say the most popular fighters from Maine would be Mike Brown, Tim Sylvia, and Marcus Davis, you know what I mean? But the most popular fighter that is still in the, the regional area, but always making, if he fights, he's always a headliner, that's Bruce Boynton. And Desmond Green took him out, I think, in the second round. I can't remember, it happened a long time ago. But I just thought that was interesting. And it was a good card, all in all. But, big things is just the fact that that chick that they had fight, Valentina Shevchenko, never should have happened. That fight never should have happened. She just wasn't prepared. And that was almost like a goddamn crime, what they did there. And, obviously, Mario Yamasaki should have stopped the fight sooner. I think it's kind of ironic that he starts every fight that he does with that heart and then he lets somebody get killed, but it is what it is. Also understand that he wanted to let her have a chance to fight. She was moving around doing her best. Yeah, I feel like that was that's only the main event. I can't think of any of the other ones off the top of my head, so I'm gonna just have to let that go. My friend Mo fought last night, which was awesome. He was a boxer, and he fought somebody who was a wrestler, and he got to use a lot of the stuff that we were working on. Like I said, a lot of the cage stuff, putting his hands on the inside, getting right back up, using his range, throwing off combos, and he ended up teeing the kid off to the point where he had turned and tapped to strikes on the cage. He literally tapped the cage to make it stop. So it was nice. It's cool to see your teammates have success, especially when you that day put them through something and work through some shit with them, and then you see them be able to do that with somebody else. So it's awesome. I'm excited for my next fight. I'm hoping to try to get to, maybe 165 or something like that. We'll see. If you guys like this, let me know. Please share, tell people. I can't remember what the next big card is. Comment down below. If I haven't already commented down below, letting you all know that I've figured out what the next card is. And yeah, fighting in April. Shit's getting real. Been practicing in my jiu-jitsu. I got to work with John Arano, who is a 4-3 black belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so that was awesome. Taught me a nice little takedown that I've been doing, and it works out well for me because I can do it with people who are far better wrestlers than me, but I can still kind of catch it from this position, so I like it. If there's anything else you guys need to do, you guys want, let me know, and I will try to make a video replying to you and letting you guys know about it. I hope this has been good and beneficial. Be bold.